चरण सरोज रज निज मन मुकुर सुधारी। बरनउँ रघुबर बिमल जसु जो दायक फल चारि। बुद्धिहीन तनु जानिके सुमिरो पवन कुमार। बल बुद्धि विद्या देहु मोहि हरहु कलेश विकार। जय हनुमान ज्ञान गुण सागर जय कपीस तिहु लोक उजागर। रामदूत अतुलित बल धामा अंजनी पुत्र पवन सुत नामा। महावीर विक्रम बजरंगी कुमति निवारि सुमति के संगी। कंचन बरन बिराज सुबेसा कानन कुंडल कुंचित केशा। हाथ वज्र औ ध्वजा बिराजे कांधे मूंज जनेऊ साजे। शंकर सुवन केसरी नंदन तेज प्रताप महाजगबंदन। विद्यावान गुणी अति चातुर राम काज करिबे को आतुर। प्रभु चरित्र सुनिबे को रसिया राम लखन सीता मन बसिया। सूक्ष्म रूप धरि सियहि दिखावा बिकट रूप धरि लंक जरावा। भीम रूप धरि असुर संहारे रामचंद्र के काज सवारे। लाए सजीवन लखन जियाए श्री रघुबीर हरषि उर लाए। रघुपति कीन्ही बहुत बड़ाई तुम मम प्रिय भरतहि संभाई। सहस बदन तुम रोजस गावे अस कहीं श्रीपति कंठ लगावे। सनकादिक ब्रह्मादि मुनीसा नारद सारद सहित अहेसा। जम कुबेर दिग पाल चाहते कभी कौबिद कहि सके कहते। तुम उपकार सुग्रीवहि कीन्हा राम मिलाय राजपत दीना। तुम्हरो मंत्र विभीषण माना लंकेश्वर भय सब जग जाना। जुग सहस्त्र जो जन पर भानु लील्यो ताहि मधुर फल जानु। प्रभु मुद्रिका मैली मुख माहि जलधि लागी गए अचरज नाही। दुर्गम काज जगत के जेते सुगम अनुग्रह तुम्हरे तेते। राम दुआरे तुम रखवारे होत न आज्ञा बिनु पैसारे। सब सुख लहे तुम्हारी शरणा तुम रक्षक काहू को डरना। आपन तेज समारो आपे तीनों लोक हाकते कापे। भूत पिशाच निकट नहीं आवे महावीर जब नाम सुनावे। नासे रोग हरे सब पीरा जपत निरंतर हनुमत बीरा। संकट ते हनुमान छुड़ावे मन क्रम वचन ध्यान जो लावे। सब पर राम तपस्वी राजा तिनके काज सकल तुम साजा। और मनोरथ जो कोई लावे सोई अमित जीवन फल पावे। चारों जुग प्रताप तुम्हारा है प्रसिद्ध जगत उजियारा। साधु संत के तुम रखवारे असुर निकंदन राम दुलारे। अष्ट सिद्धि नव निधि के दाता असबर दीन जानकी माता। राम रसायन तुमरे पासा सदा रहो रघुपति के दासा। तुमरे भजन राम को पावे जन्म जन्म के दुख बिसरावे। अंत काल रघुबरपुर जाय जहाँ जन्म हरि भक्त कहाई। और देवता चित्त न धरहि हनुमत से ही सर्व सुख करहि। संकट कटे मिटे सब पीरा, जो सुमिरे हनुमत बलबीरा। जय 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 हनुमान गोसाई, कृपा करहु गुरुदेव की नाई। जो 7 बार पाठ करे कोई, छूटहि बंदी महासुख होई। जो यह पढ़े हनुमान चालीसा, होए सिद्ध साकी गौरीसा। तुलसीदास सदा हरि चेरा, की जय नाथ हृदय मह डेरा। पवन तने संकट हरन, मंगल मूर्ति रूप। राम लखन सीता सहित, हृदय बसो सुरभूप। सियावर रामचंद्र की जय, पवन सुत हनुमान की जय। उमापति महादेव की जय, बोलो रे भाई सब संतन की जय। जय श्री राम, जय श्री कृष्ण, जय हनुमान, जय हनुमान। In the past 2 sessions and in the coming 2 sessions, especially verse 16, a little bit of verse 15, and later on when we go on to verse 17 and verse 18, they are going to discuss about the real and the unreal. Again, we are not going to use the word real and unreal. It is Sat and Asat, right? And we have discussed with a lot of examples what is Sat, what is Asat, and what is Mithya. Brahma Sat, Jagat Mithya, right? Sat kya hai? That which is, Brahm is Sat. What is not is Asat. And what is not, but it looks like it is Mithya. And then I was thinking, we have been using examples which are a bit distant to us, right? Which are a bit distant to us. What if we try to look at these verses? Definitely verse 17 and 18, we will go verse by verse, meaning by meaning, as we have done with verse 16. But before going into that, suppose we just hold verse 16, 17 and 18, which are predominantly talking about Sat, Asat and Mithya, and try to understand it very simply with the help of a few examples. And these examples are going to be in the story format, so probably it is going to be easy to comprehend. At least for me, it made more sense to me. Let's take one story, for instance. And these stories have a very deep meaning, so kindly listen to it very carefully. Now, once upon a time, there was a great monk, right? A great monk. He had 500 disciples, all very learned, very, very well-versed with knowledge and well-versed with the sadhana and yoga and everything. They had siddhis also. Now, this monk was growing old, right? And he would give everybody a chance. So there was a person who came from a distant village and he just wanted to become the disciple of this monk. Now, this person who had come was a villager. He hardly knew how to read or write. He did not have much knowledge. But the monk said, okay, you can take Diksha from me. You can become my disciple. And the task I am giving you right now is to clean rice. Clean rice was the task assigned to him. So he briefly met this great monk for 20 seconds, hardly a few seconds. And he went away. He was assigned the task. And years went by. It was a tedious work. Just imagine in the kitchen, 500 monks to feed 3-4 times a day. And cleaning rice was his task solely assigned to him. He had no time. From the time he woke up till the time he went to bed, all he did was clean rice. He hardly went to the discourses. He hardly went to the lectures. He hardly did any yoga or meditation because he did not have the time. All he was doing was cleaning rice from morning till evening till night. From the time he woke up till the time he slept, what he did was clean rice. Months, days, years rolled by. And soon, he actually forgot who he was. He forgot his name because nobody ever called him with his name. Nobody ever noticed him. So he did not even have too much of an emphasis on his own existence. His identity became a bit lucid. It started getting dissolved. And not only a few years, it just so happened that 20 years went by. He was assigned a task from his guru. He went and his guru never called him back. And he kept doing his task to the best of his ability. Now, after 20 years, this great monk, who was already old to start with, was aging, and he wanted to hand over his hat, his robe, his stick, that is his position, to a worthy successor. So he called upon all his 500 students and he said, I'm looking for a successor. And the process is going to be, you have to chalk down your experience on the wall of my hut. Mind you, what he's saying is, chalk down your experience. What you have experienced, not what you have read, not what you have heard, not what you have studied. No, your own inner experience with that divine, and chalk it down on the wall, and whoever's experience is the most real, I will make him my successor. Saying this, he went to bed, and at night, the best amongst them, the best and the most learned, who was considered to be definitely the next one in line, went and wrote on the wall. He was so worried because he knew he had had no experience. No inner experience of the divine. All he had was bookish knowledge. And he had written it down. He was so scared that he did not even write his name because he was fearful that he would be reprimanded or ridiculed in front of everybody. And he said, if Guru or the great monk says, who has written this? This is great. At that time, I'll say, I have written it. If he does not like it and he gets angry, I will not even open my mouth. And exactly that is what happened. When the great monk got up, he said, what rubbish has been written on my wall? Remove it. And then every night, many of his disciples tried their luck, but not one could share his inner experience because none of them had any. And finally, the monk said, I'm not going to find any of my successors over here. I have to go looking for him. And at night, when all were asleep, this great monk got up and headed straight to the kitchen. And there he saw that young boy who has now become old, sleeping peacefully. He did not even know what was happening around him because he was so busy following the orders of his guru. He was cleaning rice. And when he was woken up early in the morning, or at almost night, I would say, he asked, who are you? Why are you disturbing my sleep? The great monk said, I am the great monk. Now, how would he remember? It had been 20 years and he had met the great monk only once for a few seconds. The great monk said, listen, wake up. I have a task for you. He said, you have a task for me? And why have you come looking for me? Has anybody complained about my job? Has anybody said anything wrong? I do not want to leave my job. If I have made any error, I will correct it. I will clean the rice properly next time. Please don't take away my job from me. I've experienced such moments of ecstasy, such moments of joy, such moments of connection with the higher that I do not want anything else. I do not want anything else. Please, please, please forgive me and don't take my job away. The great monk said, this cannot happen. Nobody has complained against you. But I want you to be my successor. Now this disciple said, I do not know anything. I've not attended one of your discourses, none of your discourses. I've not read any of the texts. I do not know any of the knowledge that was imparted. How can I be your successor? And the great monk said over here, though none of the knowledge from the books was gained by you over here, what you have is that eternal experience of that divine bliss. You got that eternal experience of that divine bliss by losing yourself so completely that nothing but that divine existed. You have been able to move yourself away from name and form and identity, expectations, applauses and appreciations. You have lost touch with who you are. If today I ask you, what is your name? Do you remember? He said, nobody has called me by my name for 20 years. I don't even know what my name is. I do have vague memories at times, but I do not know. And the great monk said, you are my successor. You have experienced what it is to lose the false and face the truth. You have been able to remove yourself from mithya, turn your back to asat, and dwell in sat. What is sat? Sat is. The isness of our existence is sat. The clock is. I am. The table is. The pot is. There is something beyond the body, beyond the form, beyond the name. That isness has been experienced by you. And you are going to be my successor. But, he went on to say, you have to run away from here. Because these disciples of mine, they want my position at any cost. Hence, you are so simple. You have become so saral. Now, there is no translation for saral. Simple, innocent, childlike. That they will hurt you and take away the hat, the robe, and my stick. Don't give it to them. Run away. Go away into hiding. And never come out. And later, you have to impart the teachings. He said, impart the teachings? What teachings? This man, he said, I have no teachings. Didn't I just tell you? I've not attended a single of your discourse. I've not read a single book. I do not know anything. What will I impart? He said, impart the knowledge of is. Impart the knowledge of just being. Just being. You were so in the moment while cleaning the rice. Not one day, not 2 days, year after year, you were so engrossed in that moment of your work. It was extreme cleansing that happened. And hence, teach them how to be fully present in the moment. So engrossed in the moment, let them be, that no knowledge of past or the worry of the future disturbs them. Teach them to be like you, a perfect rice cleaner. And he said, if I am in hiding and you do not want me to come out, how will people find me? How will I impart? How is it possible? And at that time, this guru said, this monk said, you just blossom. You just keep doing what you are doing. You do not have to worry whether somebody comes or not. When the flower blossoms, the bees follow the fragrance and they reach the flower. In the same way, Your job is to just blossom. And the bees in the form of your disciples will find you. And when they do, teach them what you have learned. Saying this, he was asked to leave immediately and go to a distant land where nobody could be. Nobody could find him or hurt him. Why this story? Why the story of the rice cleaner? Because this story tells us that once we are able to get so engrossed in the moment, we will be able to forget our association with name and form. And remember, nothing is Sat, isn't it? The past, the future, the body, the form, the name, nothing is Sat. What is Sat? Sat is that. And when this cleansing happens, when you're just in the moment, now, without any thought, without any energy being wasted anywhere, without any questioning and reasoning, when you're just so engrossed, it becomes a form of meditation. It becomes a form of sadhana. When you put in your entire energy and focus into one activity fully. And when you keep digging a hole for years, no matter what, no matter where, after all, water is going to come out. His immense activity made him lose his own independent identity, the conditioning which tells us that I am the body, I am the mind, these relationships are real, these things that belong to me are real, this world is real, and that which is real or Sat is forgotten, was wiped out. And what remained was only Ishwar, nothing else. Nothing else. He became Sat. How? He became Sat. In the same way, he looked within. There were two waves, one bigger and one smaller. The second story now. Riding through the ocean. And then the smaller wave was very happy. She was joyous and she was going towards the shore. But this bigger wave got petrified. He said, oh my goodness, the minute I hit the shore, I will be destroyed. I will die. I will die. I do not want to hit the shore. But the smaller wave said, you have to hit the shore. We all have to hit the shore. We all have to perish. But do you know why I'm so joyous? Because I am never going to perish. Now this big wave said, what do you mean that you're never going to perish? The small wave said, listen, kindly look within, kindly look within. The big wave said, what? I do not have the time. I have to save myself. We are almost near the shore. The small wave said, just listen to me and look within. And when this big, huge wave looked within, what did it see? It saw the ocean that it is. The magnificent, never-ending ocean that it is. And the minute it realized that its existence is not this temporary, artificial wave that is there, the superficial identity. Its identity is the ocean. And no matter how many times he hits the shore, he cannot be destroyed. Not at all. Why? Because he is the ocean. The ocean is Sat. And this wave, which has been conditioned to believe that it is independent from the ocean, it is independent, it has an existence beyond the ocean, was fearful and was worrying about his impending death. But the minute he realized, the minute he looked within, the minute he identified with the eternal truth, the fear vanished. The fear of losing the form, the fear of losing the name vanished. And what remained was the ocean. In the monk, what remained was that. In this wave, what remained was that. What is that? That is Sat. And what do the Tattva Gyanis know? They know this Tattva. The essence of a wave is the ocean. The essence of you and me is that divine. No matter how many times we take birth and we die, no matter how many times we approach death, the body perishes, the form and the name, but I am eternal. And this knowledge is what Sri Krishna is trying to impart to Arjun in these verses. When he says, he talks about Sat and Asat. And it is not difficult to understand. However, we forget and we do not want to accept. Leave alone we. Look at Shankaracharya ji. Shankaracharya ji was a great learned soul. He was a Tattvadarshi, isn't it? But he also forgot. Many a times, he also would have a lapse. There is a great story that goes that once Shankaracharya ji was passing by through a village, and whenever any saint would pass through the village, all the people, especially the Chandals and all, would ask to distance. Dur ho jao, hato, raste se hato. Don't come in front of me. Move. Even your shadow should not touch the sage. So at that time, while Shankaracharya ji was walking, a Chandal came and he was crossing the road when his disciples asked him to move away. He said, move, stay away, don't touch us. Shankaracharya ji is also coming. And Shankaracharya ji said, hato, move, go away. And now this Chandal, right, the person who burns dead bodies, he said, whom do you want to go away? Right? Whom is it that you do not want to come and touch you? Is it this body? Or is that me, the Atman? Tell me, is it this perishable body that you do not want? Or is it me, that Atman, which is the same in you and me, that you are shrugging and wanting to stay away from? The minute these words and these verses were uttered by the Chandal, Shankaracharya ji fell at his feet and he said, you are Tattvadarshi. You are the knower of the essence of the entire thing. How could I not see? And there was an eruption of music and poetry from Shankaracharya ji's mouth. It is said that this Chandal was no other than Lord Shiv, who had come to remind Shankaracharya ji that all have that tattva only in them. All have that tattva. I can go on and on with examples. Shukdev ji and Vedvyas ji. All these scriptures, even this Geeta has been written by Vedvyas ji, isn't it? Bhagavad, all are divine scriptures. But do you know? Shukdev ji, his son, got the authority or had the authority to narrate Srimad Bhagavad Mahapuran to Parikshit and not Shukdev ji. Why? Because it is said that Vedvyas ji wrote the Srimad Bhagavad Mahapuran, but Shukdev ji lived it. Once Shukdev ji, when he was very little, was walking away He said, no, I just do not want to get into sansar. I have my own path. I just want to get engrossed in the Lord. And I do not want to remain here anymore. I just want to go and sit in penance. Now, Ved Vyasji did not want his son to go away. So he was chasing his son. He said, stop, stop. Look, the trees, please stop my son. The animals, please stop my son. Don't let him go. So Shukdevji is moving fast ahead. And Ved Vyasji is chasing his son to ask him to stop and not leave the house and go. And in the process, there were some women who were not wearing any clothes bathing in the lake. Right? Some were outside, some were inside, all without clothes, were bathing in the lake. And Shukdevji passed. When Shukdevji passed, these ladies did not move at all. They carried on their normal activity. The ones who were outside remained outside. The ones who were in the water remained in the water. Mind you, all of them did not have any clothes on. Yet, there was no change, no hesitation of any sort in them. But after a minute, when Shukdevji passed, from a distance they heard Ved Vyasji shouting and saying, stop, 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 Shuk, stop. And immediately these ladies who were calm and composed suddenly ran to hide themselves, to get their clothes, so that Ved Vyasji could not see them. Now Ved Vyasji was very, very amazed. He said, what is it? My son, who himself was not clothed, who was young, just passed by. At that time, you were pretending as if nobody is there. You carried on. You were nude at that time also. And now when I am passing, I am old. Yet, you are behaving as if you are ashamed and you're running and hiding. Why are you doing so? Now these ladies said, Ved Vyasji, your son को देह भान नहीं था. For him, everything was a soul. He did not distinguish. He could not see whether we are women or men. He could not even see our body. What he saw in us was that tattva, that soul. He himself considers himself to be a tattva, a soul. But for you, you are old, you are a man. We are women and we are nude. This distinction is there in your eyes, which is not in his. And hence, we are reminded that we are women and we are nude when we are in your presence, but we remain in that Atma Drishti. We are in that Tattva when we are with him. What is that Tattva? What is that is Shukdevji immersed in? It is Tattva Gyan. That Tattva Darshan is so vivid in him. What is Tattva Darshan? ब्रह्म सत जगत मिथ्या. ब्रह्म ही है सब में. ये जगत ब्रह्ममय है. There is nothing other than that. That isness is vividly there in his mind. That isness of what? Everything is but Brahm. Brahm matlab not Brahm ki, delusion. No, Brahm, Brahman. Everything is but that divine entity, that Atman, that Shariri agar aap bolna chahe to. That one which has no second. That is why, right? Shukdevji could take Parikshit to liberation in 7 days. Agastya Muni, all the great Munis, even Ved Vyasji did not take the asana at that time. ये तत्व दर्शन बहुत बड़ी चीज होती है. And if somebody becomes Tattvadarshi, why go very far? Namdev ji was a Tattvadarshi. Guru Nanak Dev ji was a Tattvadarshi. Kyun? Simple. By their actions, you can realize who is a Tattvadarshi and who is not. What is a Tattvadarshi? Again, a Tattvadarshi is a person who sees Sat in everything. What is Sat? Sat is that Brahman, that divine entity in everything. He says that everything is in that and that is in everything. Nothing else exists for him. Once Namdev ji's family was starving, his wife got him some clothes and said, go sell them and get some food for your children. And what did Namdevji do? He said, okay, he obliged. He took those clothes and he went. And then he reached a village where there were so many people suffering and starving. And what did he do? He gave away all the clothes for free. Right? Because they're poor, there's poverty. He gave away everything. And he came back home empty-handed. His wife got so upset that she left him. And his mother started wondering, what is this? She started talking to the Lord. He said, what is this? How can this happen to us? And at that time, Vithalji came. He said, because for him, everybody is Vithal. Vithala, Vithala, everybody. His actions, his children, other people, you, his wife, everybody is Vithal. For him, there is no distinction between them and mine. When he sees somebody suffering, he sees his Vithal suffering and he helps. And even the action that was done by him was the action done by Vithal. Even your anger is Vithal. Your tears are Vithal. All are a play of this divine Lord. There is nothing but it. Guru Nanak Dev Ji, when he was given a little money to go and do some business, to earn a living, what did he do? When he saw poverty, when he saw people suffering, he used every penny which was given to him for business, सौदा करने के लिए दिया था ना, to feed the poor. And when he came home, his father slapped him. He said, सौदा करने के लिए भेजा था, ये तुम क्या करके आ गए? ऐसे होता है सौदा, business ऐसे होता है. And Guru Nanak Dev Ji said, यही है सच्चा सौदा. यही है सच्चा सौदा. ऐसा कौन है इस संसार में जिसमें वो सत्य नहीं? इतिहास में ऐसे बहुत लोग हैं जिनने सत्य का दर्शन किया है. And the difference is, when somebody has been the Sat Tattvadarshi, his actions prove it. This Tattva cannot be understood through scriptures, cannot be understood through rituals, cannot be understood. It has to be experienced. And it can be experienced. All we need to do is be brave enough to remove the mist of falsehood from our eyes. Mist of falsehood. यहाँ पे Shri Krishna is telling Arjun this only. Arjun, don't get deluded by names and forms. Look at the Sat, which is hidden behind names and forms. And when you look at Sat, and when you look at the oneness of all things, and the oneness of you with those things, what happens? All attachments are converted into divine love. The life and the people and the situations which seem so real and taxing become just a play in the field. That's it. Just a play. A game. A Leela of the Lord. And then what vanishes when somebody becomes a Tattvadarshi? When everything is the divine, who is the doer? And who is the one who gains the fruit? Karta kaun hai aur bhokta kaun hai? Koi bhi nahi. That's Sat only, right? Because of the avran, of the veil of falsehood, we see dualities, right? Maya is duality. The minute somebody sees Sat behind the veils, what happens? The doership goes away, because who is doing everything? The Lord. There is only one who is doing. One who is dying, one who is killing, one who is eating, one who is offering. Then what happens? You act in this world. You act in this world, but with the knowledge that Brahm Sat Jagat Mithya hai. They all did. There is a story of the Char Sahibzade, right? One of the Sikh gurus. Again, when his praja was fighting, there was a war going on. Equally, just as all the other soldiers went, one by one, he sent his sons also. He sent his sons. And later on, both his sons died and the younger two were captured. When they were captured, the younger ones were threatened to be killed. And when they were threatened to be killed, they said, "You can't kill us, because we are." These two little boys are telling them, "We are. इस शरीर को मार सकते हो, हमें नहीं मार सकते." Is killed. जिंदा चुनवा दिया था, buried alive. And when still they did not die, their head was slaughtered, their head was chopped off. Yet, this king, or this father of four, did not complain, did not hesitate. And when the mother was asked, "All your children have died," she replied, "Who said all my children have died? Look outside. All are but my children." सत का दर्शन. सत का दर्शन जब होता है, तब मेरे और तेरा, अपना और पराया का भेद मिट जाता है. और अगर वो भेद है आपके मन में, तो डोंट फूल योरसेल्फ, आप तत्वदर्शी नहीं हैं. आप तत्वदर्शी नहीं है, और इसमें कोई बुराई नहीं है. We all can become, even if we are not. But for that, we need to be vigilant in awareness and keep telling ourselves, as last time I said, every day, every morning, every minute, na sato vidyate bhavo, na bhavo vidyate satah. Na sato vidyate bhavo, na bhavo vidyate satah. सत का नाश नहीं होता और असत होता ही नहीं है. And this is what the next two verses are going to emphasize on also. And before we close this session, where we are trying to explain what is Sat and what is not, let's just understand it further with the help of Nirvan Shatakam, where it says, right, Mano buddhi hankara chitta ninaham, na cha shrota jivve, na cha graha netre, na cha vyoma bhume, na tejo na vayu, chidananda rupa shivoham shivoham. I am not the mind. I am not the mind, the intellect, the ego, or the memory. I am not the ears, the skin, the nose, or the eyes. I am not the earth, nor the fire, the water, or the wind, or ether. I am the form of consciousness and bliss. I am the eternal Shiva. Shivoham, in the sense, I am that Sat Chit Anand Swarup. And then the verse goes on, Nacha prana sangyo nave panchavayu nava sapta dhatu nava panchakosha navakpani padam nachopastapayu chidananda rupa shivoham shivoham. I am not the breath nor the five elements. I am not matter nor the five sheets of consciousness. Nor am I the speech, the hand, or the feet. I am the form of consciousness and bliss. I am pure bliss. I am that. I am Sat. Na main dvesha rago, na main lobha moha. Madhoneva maineva matsarya bhava. Na dharma, na chartho, na kamo, na moksha. Chidananda Rupa Shivoham Shivoham. There is no like or dislike in me, no greed or delusion. I know not pride or jealousy. I have no duty, no desire for wealth. I am not bound or liberated. I am the form of consciousness and bliss. I am that eternal Shiv. Na punyam, na papam, na sokyam, na dukkham, na mantro, na tirtham, na vedo, na yajna. Aham bhojanam neva bhojam. Na bhokta. Chidananda Rupa Shivoham Shivoham. No virtue or vice, no pleasure or pain. I need no mantras, no pilgrimage, no scriptures or rituals. I am not the experience nor the experience itself. I am not the experienced nor the experience itself. I am the form of consciousness and bliss. I am that eternal Shiv. I am that eternal Shiv. Na main mrityu shanka, na main jati bheda. Pita neva, main neva matsarya bhava. Na main mrityu shanka, na main jati bheda. Pita neva, main neva mata na janma, na bandhur, na mitram, guru neva shishya. Chidananda Rupa Shivoham Shivoham. I have no fear of death, no caste or creed. I have no father, no mother, for I was never born. Remember, I have no father, no mother, for I was never born. I am not a relative, nor a friend, nor a teacher, nor a student. I am the form of consciousness and bliss. I am eternal Shiv. Aham nirvikalpo nirakara rupo vibhutvat sarvatra sarvendriyanam nacha. Sadhame samatvam nacha sangha neva muktirna meha. This is a little different from what I've learned. Chidananda Rupo Shivoham Shivoham. Vibhutvat sarvatra sarvendriyana. I am devoid of duality. My form is formless. I exist everywhere, pervading all senses. I am neither attached, neither free, nor captive. I am the form of consciousness and bliss. I am that eternal Shiv. What is saying? Who am I? I am devoid of duality. My form is formless. I exist everywhere, pervading all senses. I am neither attached, neither free, nor captive. I am that. I am Sat. I am Sat Chit Anand. I am consciousness and bliss. I am that eternal Shiv. Shivoham, Shivoham, Shivoham. I am that. I am Sat. I am Sat Chit Anand. Chidananda Rupa. Chit Ananda Rupa. Shivoham Shivoham. Shri Krishna Govinda Hari Murari He Nath Narayan Vasudeva Shri Krishna Govinda Hari Murari He Nath Narayan Vasudeva Shri Krishna Govinda Hari Murari He Nath Narayan Vasudeva Shri Krishna Govinda Hari Murari He Nath Narayan Vasudeva Shri Krishna Govinda Hari Murari He Nath Narayan Vasudeva He Nath Narayan Vasudeva He Nath Narayan वासुदेव। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। वासुदेवाय वासुदेवाय। राम लक्ष्मण जानकी जय बोलो हनुमान की। राम लक्ष्मण जानकी जय बोलो हनुमान की। राम लक्ष्मण जानकी जय बोलो हनुमान की। जय बोलो हनुमान की। जय बोलो हनुमान की। बोलो बजरंग बली की जय। जय श्री राम, जय श्री कृष्ण, जय हनुमान, जय हनुमान, जय हनुमान।